I have people all the time ask me what should they expect to make from flipping homes versus what they should expect to make if they're renting homes. Our goal with this course is to help you reduce the risk because flipping homes as well as building homes can be risky. But if you're keeping your eye on the 8 ball, you can develop you a very profitable system. At the same time, I don't want you to overanalyze yourself out of any potential good deals because the profitable deals are out there. And that's where the Flip app comes in. It helps do the heavy lifting for you. Some of the things that we've already done to reduce risk, we've already done, such as trying to determine a great market area for ourselves, building our dream team, figuring out what our potential ARV and construction costs are. These are all important things that had to be accounted for in order for us to get on the right track. But of course, the big question in any business is going to be, what is the profit at the end of the day going to be? Otherwise, what are we going to net off of each one of these deals? That's what we're going to look at right now. Let's take a look at our maximum offer formula again, so we can determine how we will arrive at that number, and it's based on our improvement costs, our acquired costs, and our minimum profit, which will return give us what our maximum offer we would like to make on this property. Let's go ahead and transition to that scene right now. In my case, on deals, I want to make sure we can make at least a 10% profit on a flip. So if the eventual sales price of our ARV on the house is $200,000, a good median range for a home in the Houston area, and I'm expecting to at least make a $20,000 profit, 10% on that deal. This doesn't go to say that it's not okay to make less than a 10% profit on a deal. Absolutely not. I believe if you can get in and out of a deal quickly with a minimum level of rehab, then absolutely take your chances and do a deal. Of course, your actual profit is going to truly be determined on what you acquired a profit for in relation to the dollar amount of the work that it takes to go into the project and what your end sales price will be at the end of the day. The cool thing about the Flip app is that it's going to help you ramp this learning curve up very quickly, and you're going to get a really clear picture of what you should be asking for the property, and of course what you should expect in profit in the end at the end of the day. Let's take an example of a sample property deal, and actually let's just do a few of them and run some quick numbers on the Flip app, and we can see what the power that the Flip app holds, and more importantly, how we're figuring out our potential property on a deal. All right, cool. So let's go into our first example. I actually got this from came across my email from a wholesaler here in the Houston area. He says, we have 3 small houses in East Downtown available for purchase as a wholesale transaction. These properties need everything from foundation to roof. Each house is located on the 5300 block of Bell Street. This property is now contracted by the 8th, and assuming the 8th of August, then they will be listed on the MLS. Purchase price $170,000, rehab $40,000 per house, and it needs everything. Comments below show homes. So below I see some of his MLS comparables, homes that are in similar condition for $180 and renovated houses for $300. So let's go ahead and take this into the app, run these numbers, and see what yields for us if we're using hard money financing. So let's go ahead and transition to the app now. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go into this example at 5300 Bell Street. I've already pre-filled it, just like the other examples that we're going to go over. So let me go into the worksheet. So you can see here we have our purchase price at $170,000, our ARV at $300,000. So I went ahead and input all this stuff up front. And we're going to use finance. We got a great group out of Austin that we like to use for our fix and flips. Looking at a 75% ARV and let's say a 9% interest rate. Our purchase cost in we'll go into that, we're just gonna say 3%, and that could, consist of everything from our, home inspection, appraisal, closing costs, probably play 2 points on the loan. So we're including that there. we're going to factor in our $40,000 of rehab costs that we already discussed that came across. Our cost overrun is 5%. I typically, most lenders are going to designate like 5% on your fix and flips, and on new construction 10%. So you have that in as your contingency, okay? That's going to be built in. You're going to want to have that built in on every project, especially until you get the hang of estimating all your construction costs. So we're going to look at our holding costs now. So it's at $7,500 per year in taxes on this property, and that may or may not even be right for this. I'm just giving an estimate on this. Our insurance $1,500, utilities $100 a month, our landscaping $25 a month if there is any, and then you can add additional fees that may contribute to your monthly expenses on the property, such as you got utilities there, so we included all that. So let's go to our selling costs. Put 6% in there. You can go in here and break this down more. You could toggle that on or off. I just did the overall 6%. So if I were itemizing it to get a more clear detail, I would be at, let's say, 6% for agent commissions, and say a home warranty $450, title insurance, let's say $1,100. We can leave it here on this one, $19,550. And then our holding costs, let's say we're in it for 4 months. So we're gonna come back to the summary now. In the summary analysis, it breaks everything down: purchase price, what we finance, our holding costs per month, and our total cash needed to close. We're at like $5,100 total cash needed to close on this deal, and our sales and profit. So after our invested cash that we put up, what we've subtracted for holding costs, our loan repayment, our selling costs, this is what our potential total profit is on this deal, and our ROI and our annualized ROI, and based on like how long we hold it. Now, if you look, you want to get in and out of these deals. So the longer that you hold it, look at your total profit. It's going lower and lower because those costs are still accruing. But so this tool actually will help you, just give you a really good picture of what you're doing. So from here, we'll back and we'll go into the report. I'm going to now include this worksheet. You can include maps, photos, and then boom, nice clean report that I'm going to send to my lender and say, hey, or investor, say, hey, this is the deal right here, Bell Street, East Downtown. These are the numbers on it. All right. So this is what you're going to want to do on each deal. All right, let's go to the next example and break it down. All right, so this is good. Some of these wholesalers can get some free publicity. This one came from Texas Investment Buyers LLC. And a lot of these guys, they submit these deals over to the queue for us to take a look at. We know they put some wholesale fee on them, so we like to look at them, but it's your job to do your homework and just run the numbers, find out the repairs that need to be done. But this one here, 11917 Nipwood, we are going to put in the app also, and see they've got a purchase price of $1.15 million on this one. This is a big deal. Like this is a big one. But Bunker Hill Village is a high-end area here in the Houston area, and so they're saying, hey, here's one for 1.15, 120,000 on repairs, and the holding costs are, they even put the holding costs in here, 50,000. I would definitely run my own numbers on that for sure. Retail ARV 1.5 to 1.6 million. Here's a picture of the property itself. Got 209 feet on this side, 220 feet on this side, looks like 98 feet on the street side, and 81 in the back. So look at this. They say, hey, you could even tear down and build. The lot size 20,950 square feet. They're asking 1.1 million. So a brand new build, you'd get right at 3.1 to 3.5 million for a new build. And I definitely would agree in this area you can get. And then also they got their links to their additional photos as well. So if you find deals like this, you can definitely go to the Flip app and submit your deals on there to keep them off market, but to expose it to investors as well. So let's just go ahead and use this example and run some numbers on it. Why don't we? Okay, this is our property on Nipwood. We've already got everything pre-filled in here. So let's go into our worksheet. We've got our purchase price in there, our after repair value. And for this example, I toggled on, using financing again, custom loan amount. We're going to look at, this time I changed it to 70% ARV. It's a bigger deal. I could see a lender saying, hey, we'll go with 70% ARV on this, maybe even 65%. And also put a higher interest rate. I just wanted to show you how that interest rate affects you. Went ahead and left the 3%, same purchase cost. Our rehab cost, we put the $120,000. This time I changed our cost overrun to 10%. That's just going to protect you more as far as a 10% retainage for anything that can and will happen, especially on a project of this size, different expenses that may come up that you may not anticipate. I put our holding costs at $900 a month, went up a little bit from there, and our selling costs at 8.5%. For a holding period, let's put, this is at that price, we may have to hold it a little longer. So let's go 6 months on this holding time. Come to our summary analysis. On this deal, you can see based on, you want to definitely run these closer. But man, look at the amount of cash that's needed on this deal. $196,000 total cash to get into this deal. After repair value 1.6. So it's not a lot of margins in there, especially at 101.15 million. And then if you have to put another 120,000 into it, it doesn't leave you a lot of margins. So you're investing some cash on this up front to get a profit of 75,000. Of course, you hold it less time, you can make more. So you got the potential to make 100,000 on this deal if you're in and out of it at 3 months. But this is a good barometer as far as where you're going to be at. So you see, some of the bigger deals it's enticing because you can make a bigger profit on some of these deals. But how much is your lender going to have you bringing up front, and are the numbers right for you to bring less money to closing? 1.15 million plus you tack on 120,000 in rehab costs. It doesn't leave a lot of space after you deduct selling costs and holding costs. You still can make 100,000. That's not bad. It's nothing to sneeze at. Thank you once again for tuning in to Module 8. And remember, you're one flip away.